Hey plant people, this one goes out to all you newer plant parents out there, the ones that just want to have their plants and love them and enjoy them. People keep telling you, don't buy that plant. Don't buy that plant. That is not a plant that you want. And you're wondering,
what the heck are you even talking about? I could take care of this plant. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me.
I'm here to save you a whole lot of drama. These are the houseplants that I will never buy again. I'm here to tell you honestly, I don't even know why spider mites love these plants, but it is a known thing within the houseplant community that spider mites just cannot get enough of these plants. I don't know why, but buy these plants at your own risk. I would pretty much suggest not buying them at all, but if you want to try it out, maybe you want to find out what it's like to have spider mites. I don't know. I don't know your life. Go for it. But these are plants that I personally will never buy again because these spider mites are essentially inevitable. First up on the list, and this might be a little controversial, would be any Alocasia. I have personally owned quite a few Alocasia. I mean, a decent amount anyways. Every single one of them got spider mites.
How do I say goodbye to what we had?
I do prophylactic treatment for spider mites in my house, so it's a little ridiculous that every single one bought from different places at different times would get spider mites. I truly don't know why. At this point, I must say, I don't think I will be purchasing Alocasia ever again unless there is just some drop dead gorgeous Alocasia that I have to have. So I have had the Alocasia poly or Alocasia amazonica, I've had Alocasia zebrina, I've had Alocasia frydek. All of them have had spider mites at one point or another. And it's pretty sad because they're all beautiful plants in their own way. The Alocasia zebrina that I had was actually gigantic. I got it from Home Depot. I'll insert some pictures if I still have them. But I mean, it just seemed like at any given point, it would have a whole family of spider mites wanting to live under one of the leaves. And I would treat it and treat it and treat it, and it never spread, but spider mites would just not cease and desist, essentially. And the other thing with Alocasia, their whole like dormancy period in winter, I'm not down with that. They might be beautiful, and for those people that put up with Alocasia, do you? But Alocasia, not for me. Next up on the list, freaking Croton. And honestly, I think that Croton might be one of the #1 beginner houseplants that people tend to get, especially because like towards the end of the year, going into like winter and fall, those are like the only plants that you can seem to find for some reason. Just Croton, all shapes and sizes, wherever you go. They just get rid of all of their houseplants, and Croton are in abundance. So I have owned a few Croton, and actually I had Croton that were doing really well in my house up until I found the spider mites. And it was devastating. That was actually the first plant that I ever had that had spider mites. And I just remember feeling so defeated and like I was a terrible plant parent and couldn't get anything right. But if you look around the internet, plenty of other people with Croton have also dealt with spider mites, whether they want to admit it or not. I actually stumbled across a video once that said, it was from a seller at a nursery. He said he specifically will never order Croton again because he has never had a shipment of Croton that did not have spider mites. Take a second to think about that. He has never ordered a shipment of Croton that did not have spider mites. And that was just like mind-blowing for me. I couldn't even understand this, like, how is that even possible? And in fact, he was unboxing plants live on the video, and he accidentally got a Croton in his shipment, and he said, guarantee there's gonna be spider mites on this. Lo and behold, he pulls it out, freaking spider mites. If you know what you're looking for, you will likely discover spider mites at one point or another on your Croton, or your Croton will just die before you can even identify spider mites. So for me, They're kind of cool and funky looking, especially for like the fall season. Not worth the hassle and not worth feeling like a crappy plant parent. So sorry, Croton, you are not welcome back here. Now the next one on the list, this is actually for like a whole group of these plants, and this is also very well known. These are probably the most beautiful plants within the plant kingdom. They are known for just being drop dead gorgeous, which is why you would be drawn to want to get them in the first place. But guarantee, especially if you are a beginner in houseplants, these are gonna wreck you. The beauty is just deceiving because they're just bratty, little snotty, little mother. This was the first plant decision that I said I would never purchase this group of plants again, and that is any and all Calathea. They are so beautiful, so beautiful, but I don't know if there is a way to absolutely escape having spider mites on your Calathea. And you'll see them on the underside of the leaves, especially since the undersides of the leaves are like burgundy purple. It's so easy to identify the spider mites. Not to mention, they want so much humidity, it's not even realistic. Like, you just need to be breathing hot breath on them all day. I'm literally just not down with the amount of attention and babying that Calathea require. So while they are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, they're impossible to keep alive, and they are addicted to the spider mite life, and I'm not about that life. So I will never purchase Calathea again, ever. And I tell every single person, especially new plant parents that stumble across them and think about how beautiful they are, I tell them you're gonna need a humidifier right next to it, and you're gonna be real disappointed once it gets spider mites. It spreads to all of your other plants because you probably won't even realize it initially. It's just heartbreaking. You're setting yourself up for heartbreak. So no to Calathea. The final plant I will absolutely never bring into my house ever again. I won't let this plant come within 5 feet of my house. And I say 5 because I have some that's growing on my fence in the backyard, but it's probably about 30 feet away. So I have to say 5 just in case it gets a little close. English freaking ivy. This was actually the first like house plant that I knew of by name. I was looking for something vining in the beginning, and it was like probably fall going into winter, so none of the big box stores or nurseries really had any out. But if I could just go back in time and tell that Shane that Shane doesn't want English ivy. She doesn't. So obviously, not listening to my future inner dialogue, I ordered some English ivy online from Amazon. Came in a little little terrarium pack. No. I don't know at what point the spider mites came about, but they were there, and they were on every single little terrarium plant that came in that pack. You can look at any video right now. You could look at a plant arena video about English ivy. I don't know if it's possible to have them in your house without at some point having to treat it for spider mites. It's like a known thing that they just come with the territory, and that you're just going to be managing the spider mites as opposed to ridding yourself of the spider mites. And unfortunately, it is such a common name, like a common household houseplant name that people go to, that you would buy English ivy just off the cuff because you don't expect that it's just gonna have spider mites. You don't expect that you're gonna bring a whole family worth of little dementors in with you. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, you can do the neem, you can do the water. I mean, you can wash your ivy frequently, keep it very humid, and bathe it down with neem, but it's not worth it, dude. Because, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's just, to me, it's not worth it and will never be worth it. I will find some other vining houseplant that is not English freaking ivy. Like, you don't even go here. You weren't even meant to be here in the States. So, like, the audacity of you to just come, bring all your friends, like, that is rude. It's not worth the trouble that it will cause. I would much rather have some sort of vining pothos or even like philodendron scandens as opposed to having English ivy. So basically, if you see this video and you are thinking about getting houseplants, hear me out. Don't get these ones. Let my mistakes be your knowledge. Let me give you some of my knowledge. Don't even go through it. It's wasted money, time, frustration, anxiety, all of it. Just don't do it. There are plenty of other options out there for plants that you can love that won't bring you this much pain. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or suggestions for other videos, please leave it down in the comments and tell me, what plants do you absolutely refuse to allow back into your house? Are these ones on your list? Do you have some other ones that are just spider mite hooers? Let me know, because these are the ones that ain't coming back through this door, sister. If you're not already, please do follow me on Instagram at Frolics with Foliage, and I will see y'all in my next video. Psst. If you already made the mistake of buying some of these houseplants, go ahead and watch my How to Get Rid of Spider Mites video. It'll help, and I'm sorry.